superhuman, hero, the beast, stud, grandpa, Popo, Uncle Leonard. But Tracy, Adam, and I just called him Dad. Leonard Cortez, a direct descendant of the original families from the Canary Islands that first settled San Antonio. Already there's some fun genealogy and historical records to study. But then, with a name like Cortez, when I was little, I always imagined my dad as a beautiful conquistador in shining golden armor on a Spanish stallion, and one day he sees a pretty brown-skinned native girl, my mom. I believe that my parents have been together for countless centuries throughout space and time. Leonard and Diana grew up on the same street, lost touch for a while, and then reconnected when Mama was in high school. And that's when they fell in love. I remember when I was in high school and I was madly in love with a boy, I asked Mom, did you ever feel like that about Daddy? And she said, well, I was in a play at my high school, and he was going to pick me up from rehearsal. I was on stage performing, but I kept trying to find him in the empty seats of the auditorium. Then, at the back of the building, the light perfectly outlined the silhouette of a figure. And my mom said with a breathy sigh, oh, there he is, Leonard. I think I really love this guy. When Leonard was growing up, he had to take care of himself a lot more than any little kid should ever have to do. He learned early that if he wanted something, no one was just going to give it to him. He needed to work for it, work hard, and save up to get it. He was so proud of the burgundy 1947 Cadillac Series 62 ragtop convertible that he bought himself. He kept it in pristine show condition. He worked hard and he earned everything he got. He wanted to be strong, and the only way to be strong is to, again, work hard every day diligently. That's why he was a powerhouse. Among his extraordinary abilities, there was one that was truly baffling: his olfactory acuity. The medical term is hyperosmia, an abnormally enhanced sense of smell. He could smell smoke, fumes, alcohol, even microscopic bacteria in a 47-mile radius. We have a bunch of stories to back this up, but just a really quick one. Sometimes when Mom and Daddy would go out of town and they'd just be gone for the day, after they would get home, a little while later, Daddy would stomp over to my side of the house and say urgently, honey, are you using chemicals? And I said, no, Daddy. Well, I gave you my toes? Yes, but that was yesterday. So from then on, I would have to announce to the whole house, I will be dyeing my hair, I will be painting my toes, or using acrylic paints today. Do not be alarmed. I suspect that my dad had millions and millions more olfactory receptor cells than an average person. That's why he was superhuman. Without very much guidance, he became a good person, a gentleman, funny, charming. There are a lot of things that Leonard Cortez just innately knew how to do. Mom was telling me when I was 18 months old and all of us were at a party, little baby Casey started choking on some chips. The silent kind of choking when no air can get in or out. And quickly becoming cyanotic, lifeless and turning blue. Everyone who was there thinks they are about to see Leonard and Diana's little baby die. Imagine everything that's going on in that room. Men and women yelling, my mother screaming, crying, my baby Leonard, do something. My dad blocked out all that chaos from his mind. He did a combination back smack finger sweep until I finally screamed and cried to the relief of all of my family. My dad saved my life. Years later, when I was 4, a little girl was at our house and started choking on an apple. I didn't know what was happening. Daddy lifted this now unconscious, unresponsive child by one leg and smacked that kid hard on the back with his big, giant, heavy hands. Then the finger sweep, smack, sweep, and the obstruction was out. And that little girl cried out and did not die in our little house on Inglewood. I saw my dad save that little girl's life with my own eyes. She would die right there in front of me. I didn't realize the gravity of what he did until much later. I would have died at that party. Mom says she has no idea how he learned how to do that. He just knew exactly what to do. And side note, after his first heart attack in '98, I saved his life 2 times while he was recovering in the hospital. So by saving my life, I was here to save his life back. That's beautiful, lovely karma. He was a real life hero. But not just for people he knew and loved. Our family has a profound love for New Orleans. Its people, food, culture, just as much as we love San Antonio. Once, before I was born, they were in New Orleans, and Daddy spotted a house on fire. He banged on the front door to alert the people inside the home, who actually didn't believe him. Then he immediately took their garden hose and started watering their house, trying to slow down the burn until the firefighters could arrive and get it under control. On another occasion, back here in San Antonio, he saw the back patio of a little bar on fire. Again, the people inside had no idea, and again, they didn't believe him until they saw the flames. And while writing these last two stories, I realized he was using his superpower of smell to smell the smoke, and then his muscles to save the people. In all these stories, my father, Leonard, led by example. Here are 3 life lessons that he taught me that absolutely made my life better. And he'd be very, very happy I'm teaching it to you. So number 1, driving on the freeway. When going at higher speeds and suddenly the cars in front of you are stopped, of course you step on your brakes, but turn on your hazard lights so that the vehicles behind you know you're at a complete stop, not just going really, really slow and riding your brake. You're at a stop. That's number 1. Number 2, be empathetic. When you are really, really angry at someone to the point that you think you are justified to vengefully, verbally, publicly destroy this person, if you do it, and when they crumble at your feet, it's not going to feel good. Daddy said he did it one time. He's still doing it. A person who's already having self-esteem issues and is observably making bad choices will not learn anything by being humiliated by you. And actually, you're the one that looks and feels like a jerk. Number 3, don't panic. This one probably saved my life 1,000 times. I was having a very hard time when I started having asthma attacks that helpless drowning inside your own lungs, and no one could pull you to safety. The panic was making a bad problem even worse. Daddy said, "What are you worried about, honey? You worried about dying? Well, don't. If you die, it's going to be a beautiful, wonderful thing. So, just calm down, concentrate on steady breathing. It's going to be okay." That was the best advice I've ever gotten. Since that night on August 5th, when Daddy died, I've been hearing stories about the ways he impacted people's lives. Beautiful stories from everyone, but I'm hearing the most from guys, boys and men of different ages, completely different social groups. Your dad taught me how to be a man. Your dad taught me how to buy a car. He taught me how to back in a trailer hitched to a truck. I don't do that when I'm doing it. How to change a tire, how to build a shed, how to build muscles on your body. But the best one I heard this past week, Leonard taught me how to be a dad. All this from the boy who lost his dad at 3 years old, who always felt abandoned. From the boy who admitted to me he never knew what a real family was until he made a family with my mom. The little boy that felt powerless chose to grow up and become strong, not to beat people down, but so he had the strength to pull people up. He wanted to be strong enough to defend and protect the vulnerable, so no one would ever feel as powerless as he did. From this man, who would sometimes mention to me in a quiet moment, when I was little, nobody would talk to me. He is literally a self-made man. So funny, so handsome, such a good dad, such a great man. Leonard Cortez, the things you taught me, I will pass on. Grandpa, Uncle Leonard, Daddy, you will.